Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Secure and Soar, the CEO's Guide to Cybersecurity and AI Success. My name is Earl Kelly, CEO of Cydian Group, bringing you over 30 years of technology experience from insights as my days as a former CIO of a large insurance agency. As your award-winning cyber evangelist, I'm here every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern to help you stay always on and always ahead. Now, if you're a CEO, a business owner, or a leader who's just trying to cut through the noise in technology and get down to what really matters, you, my friend, are in the right place. My mission every week is super simple. I'm going to give you the truth without the fluff so that you can make better decisions that protect your profits, your people, and your reputation. So here's our roadmap for today. First, I'm going to give you a little background on who I am and why I'm here. Then we'll cut through the noise and talk about the real signal in cybersecurity and AI right now. And then we'll look at who this impacts, what it costs, and most importantly, what you actually control. Finally, I'll show you how to leverage all of this, not just to protect yourself, but to actually grow. And after that, I'll share an important call to action. Bust this week's AI myth and give you a live demo of some truly cutting-edge AI in action. And then we'll circle back to what your next step should be. Now, for those of you who may be new here, my name, as I said, is Earl Kelly, and I've been in technology for over 3 decades. And before founding Cydian Group, I served as the CIO for a large insurance agency. At Cydian Group, we specialize in helping growth-minded CEOs in industries like legal, insurance, and small to mid-sized businesses nationwide. We don't just install firewalls and hope for the best. We protect profits, we enhance reputations, and we harness AI so that your teams can operate smarter, faster, and more securely. We're based right here in beautiful Jacksonville, Florida, and between myself and my team, we bring over 75 years of combined technology experience. In short, we have seen it all, and our goal is to make sure that you don't have to learn the hard way. So now let's talk about the signal beyond the noise, because let's face it, every week as a business owner, you're bombarded with headlines about hacks, breaches, AI breakthroughs, and more. So much doom scrolling that your stomach can hardly handle it. But what's the real signal for business leaders like you? Well, here it is. Cyber attacks are at an all-time high, and they're getting smarter. Almost 50% of all cyber attacks now target small businesses, and nearly 70% of small to medium-sized businesses report at least one attempted breach this year. Yet only 18% say they feel like they are prepared. Think about that. That is 8 out of 10 business leaders right now are basically admitting they're walking into a fight unarmed. And when an attack happens, the average downtime for a ransomware event this year is 24 days. That's nearly a full month without being fully operational. A month of lost productivity, lost revenue, and lost customer trust. But here's the part that should keep you up at night. Hackers aren't just coming at you with brute force anymore. They're using AI to supercharge their attacks, deepfake phone calls that sound exactly like your CFO, and AI-crafted phishing kits that sail right past all of our filters. Automation that can blast out attacks at hundreds of companies simultaneously, looking for the one weak spot. This is what's really going on. Let me ground you in reality with a few examples. Just today, a venture capital firm, Insight Partners, disclosed that thousands of current and former employees, plus its limited partners, had personal data stolen in a ransomware attack tied to a breach of its human resources system. The notification was filed with California's Attorney General, and it says over 12,600 people are impacted. Several weeks ago, a major luxury skincare brand, Clarins, allegedly exposed personal data for over 600,000 customers. That's names, addresses, birth dates, emails, and full purchase histories after a breach was tied to its online store. And that's a reminder that even a $500 million cybersecurity budget, a single weak control can undo everything. Meanwhile, TransUnion disclosed that a breach at a third-party vendor exposed personal data for over 4.4 million people. While the credit files weren't leaked, the data was enough to fuel phishing, identity theft, and fraud. And finally, in Texas, a breach of the disaster grant system, which is run by the General Land Office, exposed the personal information of about 44,000 individuals seeking state disaster relief funds. Names, birth dates, social security numbers, bank info, and medical records were all visible due to a software misconfiguration. But I don't tell you these stories to scare you. I tell you them because they're not hypothetical. They happen every single week to companies just like yours. Now, who does this really impact? Well, the truth is it impacts everyone, but it hits small businesses hardest. Why? Because we run so lean. We don't have room for error. We don't have big IT teams just waiting on the sidelines. Here's the sobering statistic. More than 60% of small businesses that experience a major cyber incident close their doors within 6 months. That means that for many, it's not just a bad week, it's absolutely game over. So let's talk about the cost. When we talk about cost, we're not just talking about downtime. We're talking about regulatory penalties, lawsuits, brand damage, and yes, even leadership turnover. The cost of a cyber incident today ranges anywhere from $150,000 on the low end to over $2.2 million on the high end. I know one professional services firm that spent $65,000 just on recovery. But the real loss there wasn't the money, it wasn't the time. It was actually that they lost 4 of their top clients because their trust was shaken. And once that trust is gone, it's incredibly hard to get it back. But in all of this, here's the good news. You can't stop threats from existing. You can't. But you absolutely can control how your business responds. You can control how quickly you adapt. You can control who you choose as your partner, and you can control how seriously you take cybersecurity and AI. The right partner doesn't just bring cybersecurity, they bring speed, they bring efficiency, and they bring trust. So here's the exciting part, and I feel like this is very often overlooked. Cybersecurity and AI aren't just defensive tools, they're growth tools. One of our legal clients recently invested in a cybersecurity upgrade, but instead of hiding the IT in the closet, they put it front and center in all of their proposals. They literally said, here's how we protect your sensitive data. And the result is they won 2 new corporate contracts worth $300,000 annually. And that's the difference between looking at security as an expense versus leveraging it as a competitive edge. Now, before we move into today's myth and our demo, let me pause and invite you to something I like to call the Cyber AI Profit Session. Here's how it works. We'll sit down with you and your leadership team, assess your risk, run a dark web scan to see if your employee credentials are already out there, simulate a phishing attack, and then show you how to harness AI to run faster and safer. Now let's talk about some expectations. I'm not going to tell you that this is for everyone. It's not. If you're perfectly happy flying blind, if downtime and lost clients does not concern you, then don't call me. It's fine. But if you'd like to clarify on where your risks are, if you'd like to see practical ways that AI can actually make your team more efficient, then this session is designed for you. Fair enough? You can book it at cydian.group/risk or call us directly at 904-907-8503. Now, this is not a tech conversation. This is a business growth conversation. So how can we help your business to grow? Now let's bust this week's AI myth. And I think this is interesting. Our myth this week is that every use of AI is a legal landmine. So like any tool, AI is about governance. Writing a blog draft in AI is a low risk. Uploading a client's private health records, high risk. SMBs And so other small businesses don't need to avoid AI, they need to manage AI. And that's why frameworks like our AI risk assessment exist to help you protect your business and make sure that you are protecting your clients' data with AI. So let's look at something that every business leader cares about in this week's demo. Give me just a second. I'm going to share my screen. And today we're going to use Grok. So every week we use a different engine. This week we'll use Grok. All right. Sorry about that. All right. So normally, if you want to know what your competitors are doing, let's say pricing changes, client targeting, new offerings, you'd spend hours Googling or paying a consultant to pull a report. But here's what you can do in under 5 minutes with AI. So I can open ChatGPT, Gemini, or Grok, and I'm going to type the following prompt. Again, today we're going to use Grok, but I'm going to use this prompt. Analyze the top 3 competitors. Whoops, wrong prompt. Analyze the top 3 competitors of any industry, and let's say we're going to of regional insurance agencies. Let me spell. Summarize their strengths, their weaknesses, and where my business could differentiate. Make it simple enough to share at the board meeting. Okay, simple enough. In seconds, AI is going to generate a competitor analysis, highlight some gaps that you can exploit, some opportunities that you might miss, and even areas where you should double down. So give it just a second. This will actually, if you use a paid version of ChatGPT or Grok, you can actually put in what all of your company does, and you can make this even more powerful than this generic version that we're going to make here. So once this comes out, and we'll give it just a second. Grok, of course, this is live, so Grok's going to take a minute. Take your time, Grok. So once this completes, then you can use this and turn it into, there we go, top 3 regional insurance agencies. So our current competitors are State Farm, giving their strengths, their weaknesses. Progressive, giving their strengths and their weaknesses. Geico. Okay, based on 38 different web pages. So in under a couple of minutes, it went out and looked at 38 different web pages. So let's make this even more useful and say, Grok, turn this into a one-page SWOT analysis that I can share with my leadership team. And then Grok is going to create a one-page SWOT that you can share with your leadership team. And what used to take days and thousands of dollars is now available instantly, giving small business leaders the same intelligence advantage as the big players. And this isn't about just saving time, it's about making smarter, faster, strategic moves. And you can do it today with tools that you already have. And you'll see, if I look here, again, this is our SWOT analysis of the top 3 regional insurance carriers. Now, I can actually go even closer and I can say, give me a SWOT analysis of the top 3 major insurance agencies, and you can list them out. And again, Grok will do the same thing. So let's circle back. We've talked about the risk. We've looked at real world examples. We've seen how AI is both a threat and an opportunity. We've looked at what the future could hold. And so here's my question to you. Do you want to keep reacting to technology, or do you want to get ahead of it? Because if you want to get ahead, the next step is super simple. Schedule your cyber AI profit session. We'll help you uncover risk you may not have even known about. We'll show you where your team is vulnerable, and we'll map out how AI can be your growth multiplier, not your liability. Now, if we meet and it's not a fit, no harm done. You'll walk away with more clarity than you had before. But if it's a fit, then you'll have a roadmap to make your business stronger, safer, and more profitable. So is that worth a conversation? If you think it is, you can book at Cydian.group/risk, or you can call us directly at 904-907-8503. You can also scan the QR code on your screen. And if you know me, you know that I am very anti-QR code, but I put it up here just for ease of use. You can be assured that it is safe. So again, that is Cydian.group/risk, our phone number. And keep in mind, this is not a tech conversation. This is a conversation for business owners. This is about business growth and how you can leverage technology to grow your business. So thanks so much, everyone, for joining me today. Stay secure, stay smart, and as always, keep soaring. I'll see you next Wednesday right here at 11 a.m. on Secure and Soar. Until then, be absolutely kind to each other and have a great week.